second half of chat number 264, and we were talking about either starting or stopping a habit, you know, or an activity. Yes, Barbara, we're trying. We are trying. We really, really, really need it. We really need it. We really need a break, okay? We really, really need a break. But it'll just be John and I. It will not be no kids. No kids and no grandkids. So this will be interesting. And I already feel guilty. So nobody needs to guilt trip me about that. Okay, so anyway, first half of the chat is chat number 264. Today is March the 13th. And we were talking about sour grapes. We were talking about making something that you want to do. Hello, Julie. Something that you want to do easier and a behavior that you want to stop about making it harder. Okay, so speaking of things that are harder, this week is, oh no, Loretta says, if I go, I'm not coming back. So speaking of making things easier or harder, this week, St. Patrick's Day is this week. So St. Patty's Day is on the 17th, and that is also mine and John's, I believe, 33rd wedding anniversary. And John, if you were still there, you will have to correct me if I'm wrong. Once you pass 30, and we've been dating and or married, let's see, 40 years? Almost 40 years? I don't know. So once you get to be that, once it's that long, it is, yeah. And bye, Lynn. Take care of yourself. Let us know how you're doing later in the week. But once you get that far, once you've been together that long, it's just every day. You know, it's just one big long day. But anyway, so I'm pretty sure it's our 33rd wedding anniversary. So those are right around the corner. And I've got 3 ideas to help you celebrate. So not since Dr. Seuss, Green Eggs and Ham, have I seen so many foods and beverages dye the brilliant green color of the emerald isle. So that brilliant, beautiful, you know, emerald color, green hue for, you know, of the emerald isle. A friend in high school, actually, her mother actually let us make green eggs and ham for Dr. Seuss and for St. Patrick's Day. So she let us make green eggs and ham, and it was disgusting. The color was disgusting, but we did it, and then she made us eat it. Okay, so Knoxville has become the Mecca, or not the Mecca, it has become a Mecca for St. Patty's Day celebrations. And I'm hoping that it will, let's see, I'm hoping that the closed captioning will spell it correctly. Let's see, Mecca for St. Patty. Nope, it spelled it wrong. So it's not Patty with a T, it's St. Patty's, Paddys. But anyway, we can talk about that later, about what the correct spelling of St. Patty's Day is. But Knoxville has become kind of a Mecca for that. John says, and I think I'm about ready for my tea. John says that, I think it's Amherst, Ohio, apparently is a little crazier than we are when it comes to St. Patrick's Day celebrations. And, Elaine, 54 years that you've been married? Oh, wow. That's fantastic, Elaine. I'm pretty sure it's Amherst, Illinois that John says outdoes us. But anyway, so when John and I decided to get married, we decided to get married on St. Patrick's Day out of a matter of convenience. So, oh no, and Debbie says that Tampa dyes the river in Tampa green. That's fantastic. But we decided to get married on St. Patrick's Day as a matter of convenience. So it was the Friday before spring break started for UT. I was attending UT, and John worked at UT, at the University of Tennessee. Go Vols! And apparently we did a fantastic job at basketball today. So I think we were playing Kentucky. Go Vols! Anyway, and congratulations, Vicky, 44 for them in August. But so really, it was just a matter of convenience. So first day of spring break, or it was the weekend before spring break for UT, and I went to school there and John worked there. So it was a matter of convenience. But my maiden name is Green. John's last name is Milligan. So Kelly Green becoming Kelly Green Milligan, and then serving Green Punch. You know, it was just too easy. And it all just kind of fell together, you know. And as the years passed, it was easy for us to remember. Yeah. Oh, so we're the SEC champs? What? Anyway, I'll have to catch up to that in a few minutes. I just saw a teeny tiny bit of the Vols news on Facebook. And it's funny, it was only girls talking about it, no guys. But anyway, so it was just too easy. And it was too easy for us to be able to remember. So anytime anybody questions me on when St. Patrick's Day is, I know, because that's also our wedding anniversary. Okay, so 33 years later, we live in downtown Knoxville, and it has become kind of a big to-do. So St. Patrick's Day has become a big to-do, you know, here in Knoxville. So we have everything from parades to pub crawls. We will be Erin Go Bragh downtown this weekend. I promise everything will go green this weekend. Okay, so, but But I'm confident that we will end up going out somewhere to eat. Our anniversary is on a weeknight. We live in downtown Knoxville. The weather is clearing back up again. Remember, my voice is like this because last week we had 65, 65, 70. I think it got to like 74, 75 one day. And then literally the next day, not kidding, not lying, the next day we had 6 inches of snow. And then this morning it was like single digit temperatures. Okay, so that's what's up with my throat. All of our beautiful daffodils they were all covered in snow. I'm hoping that the peepers went back underground because the little frogs were out. But anyway, it's going to be beautiful again this week. So like in the 60s again this week. So Karen is in San Diego visiting her son, my accountability buddy. So we normally walk on Thursday nights. She won't be here this week to walk. It's going to be our anniversary. It's going to be St. Patrick's Day. Knoxville celebrates St. Patrick's Day in a big way. And we are getting ready to go to Disney again. So I got to kind of keep this under control, okay? So what am I going to do? What am I going to do to make sure that I have the luck of the Irish and I don't tip over my pot of gold? Okay, I can't afford to tip over my pot of gold before we leave to go to Disney for a week. So I have 3 ideas of things that you can do to celebrate green. You can go green without going crazy and without using a lot of points. Okay, the first one. This is for me and Alyssa tomorrow, and I think she's really going to like it. She's suddenly into Jell-O. So she is just suddenly, like every time I talk to her, she goes, Nona, I had Jell-O. And I'm like, that's fantastic. She thinks it's like the most special thing that there is on the planet. And you know what? It is when you're 4 years old. I also like Jell-O though. And if you've been with us very long, you've heard me say, my mom used to make us, as a treat, when my dad was out of town. He did not appreciate this at all. Okay, but as a treat, when he was out of town, my mom would make us lime Jell-O, but she would put pears in it. And we loved it. We loved pears with lime green Jell-O. So I made a pot of gold Jell-O. This is going to be for Alyssa and I tomorrow. So she is spending the night with us tonight. It will be too late when I get home for her to have any of this. But tomorrow she will be with me all day because I'm off from work on Mondays with her. So we're going to have some pot of gold Jell-O tomorrow. You literally just take a box, the small box of sugar-free lime Jell-O. And if you don't like lime, you can do another flavor. It just won't be very St. Patty's like. But it is literally small box of sugar-free Jell-O. The instructions are going to say, let me tell you what the instructions say. Oh, where is it? Oh, I folded it down. So the instructions say, add a cup of boiling water. So you pour the powder, and I pour it into a measuring cup just so that when I'm done mixing, I can pour it in whatever I'm going to put it in. So it says to mix a cup of boiling water and then stir for 2 minutes and then add a cup of cold water before you put it in whatever you're going to put it in to make it into Jell-O. If you're going to add fruit to it, so I've done this with pineapple before, I do it with pears because that's what my mom did with the lime Jell-O. So pineapples, pears, any kind of fruit that's in a can that does not have any sugar added. It's not in heavy syrup. It either needs to be in its own juice or it needs to be no sugar added. These particular pears have Splenda on them, so they're a little extra sweet. But if you're going to put it with fruit, cut back on the water a little bit. So I ended up doing almost 3/4 of a cup of boiling water and then almost 3/4 of a cup of cold water. You don't want to do the full cup and the full cup or it makes it too runny because the fruit already has juice in it. Okay, and I think I already have a recipe on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com that tells you how to do, pretty sure I do. So if you go look on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com, pretty sure I have one where you just open a can of pineapple, of sliced pineapple, drain it, do the same thing with the Jell-O, pour it in there, let it sit in the refrigerator overnight, and then when you plunk it out, you can slice it, and it makes like Jell-O slices. So this is going to make 2 Jell-O squares. Oopsie. Sorry, the condensation from the refrigerator is dripping a little bit. So this I just did in the super cubes. This is a 2-cup super cube, and you can see it's about a cup and a cup. And so tomorrow, when I get this home for Alyssa, because she's not getting it tonight. So when I get this home for Alyssa, we will just cut out, we can cut out little cubes. We can just sit and eat it straight out of the super cube. But lime Jell-O, and I'll get a little bite for you, but lime Jell-O with pears in it just made me think of a pot of gold for St. Patrick's Day. Tastes like Nana. Yeah, that tastes like Mom. I have to lick the Jell-O off. Because I too love Jell-O, and I can't wait to have this with Alyssa tomorrow. So sugar-free Jell-O is 0 points. The pears, as long as you did not check that you were diabetic or that you were pre-diabetic on your evaluation, then it should be 0 for the pears also. If you did check that you were diabetic or pre-diabetic when you did your assessment, then you might have points for the pears, but I promise it's worth it. So that's a pot of gold Jell-O, because the pears were gold, Jell-O's green, so it's a pot of gold. Okay, the next thing is, and I'll go ahead and take another sip so I can keep talking. Okay, the next one is Leprechaun Overnight Oats. So y'all know I had this love-hate relationship with overnight oats in the beginning. I have a very dear friend who was eating them every day before she went to work. She works in the Oak Ridge National Laboratories, and they have to be there every single day. I think it's like 6:30 or 7 o'clock for a safety meeting. And it's the same safety meeting every single day, which as a prior, I wasn't an OSHA trainer, but as the prior coordinator of our OSHA training, I can tell you, if you have the same meeting every single day, you might as well not have the meeting, okay? Anyway, so to keep her strength up, because it was so early in the morning, she was eating overnight oats every day. I tried them. I didn't like them. I think Carol Lute has decided she does not like them because she doesn't like the texture of the oats. Two little bits of advice. Do not use quick cook oats. If you use quick cook oats or instant oats, they don't turn out right. That's what I was using because that's what I already had. They're not right. It's not the right texture. You have to use, so that's tip number 1. You have to use old-fashioned oats. I have not tried it with steel cut oats. Probably won't now that I've perfected it with the old-fashioned oats. But again, I didn't think I was going to like them. If Carol is still here, I'm pretty sure that's why she didn't like them, was the texture. That's why I didn't like them either, was the texture. But again, tip number 1, use old-fashioned oats. Do not use quick cook oats. Second tip is, if it seems weird to you to eat your oatmeal cold, which some flavors don't feel right when they're cold. You know what I mean? I don't know, like some of the ones that I make, like the peppermint, let's say I think I made some peppermint white chocolate last year at Christmas maybe, and I don't know, it just felt weird being cold. You can pop them in the microwave. So what you're making them in is probably going to be either plastic or glass. I make mine in glass, in a glass jar. So you can just take, like, this is a metal lid, but a glass jar. You can just pop them in the microwave for a minute or 2, and it almost makes a muffin. So has anybody else done that? So I need to know, because I need to know if this is a good tip for people. Has anyone else taken their regular overnight oats recipe, popped it in the microwave for a minute or 2, and made it more into like a muffin? And did you like that better than the cold overnight oats? So seriously, need to know. Need to know. And I've got a couple of y'all on here need to know, because there are a couple of y'all that were like, no, you all had the same reaction to overnight oats that I have to cottage cheese. And I totally understand that, and I respect it, okay? I totally understand it. Okay, Barbara says yes. So Barbara, tell us what you did. Did you pop it in the microwave? Was it like a minute or 2 minutes? You know, how long? Yeah, and I knew, Carol, I knew it was you. I knew it was you. But yeah, so some of y'all need to know, because again, the reaction I get sometimes over overnight oats is exactly how I feel like I look when y'all say cottage cheese, and I'm over there going, I need to keep it calm. Keep it calm, Kelly. Calm down. Okay, so these are Leprechaun overnight oats, and they're Leprechaun because they are green. So, yep, and Mary says she would eat it if it was warm. So these are green. These are green overnight oats. And the green overnight oats, I'm going to show you how to make some here in just a second, because I will definitely eat this more than one day. Yeah. Okay. And Carol says that's not going to work either, because no matter what kind it is, she can do dry oats, but she cannot mix them in anything to make them liquid. Not even if it was the consistency of banana bread. Could you do that? Or like the consistency of a muffin? But anyway, super easy to make. I'm going to show you how to make one here in just a second. So these are Leprechaun overnight oats. And look how pretty and green they are. And just because it's not green, I didn't go ahead and add my fruit to this, because I love, this is pistachio pudding. And I'll show you how to make it here in a second. But I love cherries with pistachio. So I have some frozen black cherries in the freezer, obviously because they're frozen, that I'm going to put on this, but that wasn't very St. Patrick's-y, so I didn't show you that. But let's go ahead and try this. So Carol Lou, just look away. Look away, because I'm going to be trying the overnight oats. And Sylvia says she loves to make oatmeal into a muffin. I agree. I love pistachio flavor. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. These are so yummy. So let's see how to make these real quick. This is going to be fantastic. Fantastic with the cherries on top. Okay, so to make these oats, you're going to take just a glass jar, a plastic container, something big enough for this to kind of grow a little bit in. And the first thing you're going to do is put your dry ingredients in. So this is about 1/4 cup of old-fashioned oats. This I already mixed together, but this is a teaspoon of Truvia baking blend. You can use your whatever your favorite no or low calorie sweetener is. That, and then it has a teaspoon of it has a teaspoon of chia seeds, and it has, and Carol Lou, I'm not going to read that out loud, but that's exactly how I feel when you all say cottage cheese. But anyway, so a teaspoon of Truvia baking blend, teaspoon of Truvia baking blend, or your favorite artificial sweetener or non or low calorie sweetener, and a teaspoon of chia seeds, and then it has a tablespoon of sugar-free pistachio jello and jello pudding mix. So this is dry jello pudding mix, and it's pistachio. And if you don't like pistachio, again, you can use another flavor. I mean, I use chocolate. Not kidding. I have an entire drawer at home. So at home, I have a drawer. Well, let me do the right way. I have a drawer that's not quite that size, but when you open it, it's lined with jello and jello pudding boxes, okay? And it does have some sprinkles and things like that for Alyssa, but not kidding. I have an entire drawer of jello and jello pudding. So, and if you can't find the pistachio flavor, I think there's a link to it on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com under shopping. I'm pretty sure I put a link to it on there. So those are the dry ingredients. Well, almost all the dry ingredients. If you like protein powders, or if you've been adding protein powders to things, you can go ahead and put that in now. I have been doing the Vital Proteins collagen. Let's see which kind I have. Collagen peptides. So I've been doing the Vital Proteins collagen peptides. I'm not selling these. I just like them because I like the way they make my hair look, and I like the way they make my nails. So I'm going to go ahead and put a scoop of that in there. So now is the time to put whatever your other dry powder is. If you're doing a protein powder, put it in now. And you're going to stir all of that together. And then to that, you're going to add about another 1/4 cup of non-fat plain Greek yogurt, or I already had some yogurt opened, so I'm just going to add that to it. And yes, I did finally find the Chobani Zero Sugar. So this is 1 point for a container. For the entire container, I used half of it in the first thing of overnight oats, and I'm using the rest of it in this one. And I have to say, it's pretty dang delicious. I've only tried the vanilla, but it's pretty good. I'll be looking at the Publix in Orlando when we get down there, Debbie. Just saying. Okay, and then about 1/3 cup of some kind of milk. And it can be, this is unsweetened plain soy milk. You can use almond milk. You can use, if you want to use a Premier Protein, if you want to use, any kind of a protein drink, something like that. It just needs to be some kind of milk. I've made overnight oats with kefir before. Keffi's a restaurant that we have here in town. Kefir. We have a restaurant here in town called Keffi, and so I always try to call it kefir. Anyway, kefir. You can use that. You just need something kind of liquidy. If you are vegan or vegetarian, you most certainly can use vegan or vegetarian yogurt. You don't have to use a milk-based yogurt, but you're going to put that in there. If you wanted like some chocolate chips or something, you could put those on top. And then all you do is, where is my lid? Oh no! Oh, there it is. I was starting to say, I know I brought that over here. And then literally all you do is just put the lid on there, and you don't have to put the fruit in until the next day. If it's a sturdy fruit, you could go ahead. Those cherries weren't very St. Patrick's-y, so I didn't put them in there. Also, sometimes the fruit, if it's got a lot of color, it's going to leak down and it makes it look funky. I usually save bananas until the next day. So that's just up to you. So there you go. That is the Leprechaun Overnight Oats, and that is the pistachio flavor. So that's going to be nice and fluffy for in the morning to eat. And I can either eat it cold or I can eat it warmed up. Then last but not least, we're going to make 4-leaf clover eggs. 4-leaf clover eggs. You know, I don't know. I couldn't come up with a better name. It's literally just deviled eggs. So we're going to make deviled eggs, but we're going to make them with guacamole. The only thing I'm sad about is that my weed dealer did not come through this week. So I know, new people, you're thinking, what on earth is she talking about? So my weed dealer grows microgreens, and he was supposed to have already brought me, I was supposed to already have some, oh, I'll have to clean off my spoon. Hold on, please. Because I foolishly decided to use the same spoon for everything. Anyway, it's going to be so good. He was supposed to have already brought me some cilantro microgreens. He didn't show up. So we're just going to do the guacamole, and then hopefully he will bring me some cilantro. I know, Carol's like, say what? Yeah, he's my weed dealer because he brings me weeds. He brings me microgreens. So it's microgreen cilantro, broccoli, cabbage, sunflower. So basically he has trays in his daughter's bedroom, which his daughter's getting married. So it's not her bedroom anymore, but they raise microgreens. And so when they're babies, it's baby plants, and they look like little tiny weeds. So I call him my weed dealer. Plus that makes it more fun when he shows up and he says, hey, I'm Kelly's weed dealer. I'm here, to see her or whatever. And they look like weeds in a little container. Anyway, I digress. But it's little teeny tiny plants. I mean, they're only like this tall, and they're adorable, and they're so tender, and they're so fresh. So hopefully he will come before I eat all of these, so that I can add some cilantro to the top, because that would be fantastic. So these are just hard-boiled eggs that I hard-boiled in the air fryer. So you all know I can't cook a hard-boiled egg to save my life. I can peel them. If my sister makes them, I can peel them. My dad used to make them all the time. I can peel his. I'm a mean hard-boiled egg peeler. Was not having any success in my adult life with making and peeling my own hard-boiled eggs. So I started making them in the air fryer. Fantastic. It's already on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. It is a fantastic way to do hard-boiled eggs. You cook them for, I only put 4 in my basket at a time, and I use a Simple Living Products air fryer, but I only do 4 at a time. And you put them in there for put them on 260 degrees for 16 minutes. So it's 260 for 16 minutes. And then when you take them out, I put them in an ice bath, and they come out perfect every single time. So you can see perfect hard-boiled egg. So cooking them in the air fryer, only way. That's the only way for me. We did, Popcorn Karen and I did an Instant Pot when I was at her house. It's been a couple of years ago. The Instant Pot also worked well, but my gosh, it took forever. It took forever. Oops, let me get my little bowl here. So Instant Pot was a great idea, but again, took forever. Okay, let's get our egg yolks out here. And you can make as little or as much as you want. You do not have to use already prepared guacamole. You can do, you can do, if you want to make your own, you can just get some avocado. If you like avocado, you could just use avocado to make the insides. I'm going to use, because I had bought so many of these for the taco bar and for some other things. And see how easy that flipped out? I'm telling you, air frying is the way to go. So I had bought so many of these Holy Guacamole Chunky. I had bought so many of them that I'm using them for this also. So since I only did 2 eggs, so that's 4 halves, I'm only going to use about half of this container. I've got my other 2 eggs over here, and hopefully I'll get my cilantro microgreens before it's time to use that. So you're just going to, this is so stinking easy. It's not even funny. So you're just going to mash up the egg yolks with the guacamole. This is going to make 4-leaf clover eggs, so it's basically guacamole deviled eggs. But since we're doing this for St. Patty's Day, P-A-D-D-Y', St. Patty's Day, then we're going to call them a cute St. Patty's Day name. And because the guacamole is so smooth, you know, it's like mayonnaise. You don't have to mix mayonnaise with it. You don't have to put anything else in it to make it smooth. So for the sake of time, I'm not going to smooth this all the way down. My sister would be horrified right now if she could see how many chunks of eggs, how many chunks of the egg I left in here instead of making this all perfectly smooth. But I wanted to show you all what, I wanted to at least try one of these for you all. So if you've not tried, I had somebody from Sunday school, she didn't snarl her nose up at me today, but she was talking about the air fryer baked apples, you know, and her husband said, what are you making today? What are you baking today? And when I told them, remember I get to lick my fingers because it's just me. But when I told them that I was making guacamole deviled eggs, they didn't, you know, make the same face that I know Carol Lou was making about the, that I know that she was making about the overnight oats. But it was kind of that face, and they were like, oh, okay. But anyway, there is a very St. Patty's Day guacamole deviled egg or a 4-leaf clover egg. And if you can just imagine, if I had some of that baby cilantro, or if you had cilantro, or if you had some, you know, if you chopped up some other kind of greens and put that on there, that would be such a pretty presentation. And I'm telling you, guacamole and eggs, it's fantastic. And if you weren't making it for St. Patrick's Day, you could put some sun-dried tomatoes in it. Oh my gosh, that would be so good. Okay, let me try this for you. It's almost time to go. See, I'm cheating because I already know what they taste like. I love guacamole and eggs, and this makes a great egg salad too. Guacamole makes a great egg salad. Okay, so I hope that gave you some ideas for St. Patty's Day. I hope it gave you some ideas maybe for something fun to do with the kids. I know they would love to make the Jell-O. I know they would love to make the pot of gold Jell-O. Probably even like the deviled eggs, but if you make something green, maybe pair it. Oh yeah, chives would be great, Carol Lou. Maybe pair it with, reading to your kids or your grandkids, green eggs and ham. How much fun would that be? But I had a great time, and of course now my voice is starting to sound a little more normal now that we're finishing up, but I'm going to go ahead and go rest it. Y'all have a great evening. If you are watching this on YouTube, let that next video go ahead and roll over, and pretty please go ahead and click that subscribe button down there. I would love it if you would subscribe. But y'all have a great week. I will see you next time. Jessica will get these recipes posted. I'm so sorry we have not posted the one from last week yet. I had an epic fail on the noodles here at work, but we'll get to it. We'll make it through it. So y'all have a great week, and I will see you next time. Good night.